Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melder Production, and today I'm going to show you how you can do some creative layering using MXXX. So we're going to use some percussion here. I have Drummer, but you could use any other sampler, or you could even use like live drums, etc. And so we're going to layer something on top of the snare. So first I'll let you just hear it as it is, like this. So there's our loop, and all we're going to do is just layer something on top of the snare. So we can solo it here, and let's go into MXXX. So recently, about maybe 6 months or a year ago, they added some of the drum modules from Drummer into here. So we're going to use one of these. So let's use Drummer sampler here, and let's just use maybe a sample of some broken glass. So let's see here, hip hop glass, hit trigger. That's what I want. Let's make it a little bit shorter, like this. That's good. Now, I think it might be a little bit loud still. So let's move it down just a little bit, so maybe a little bit quieter. Okay. And now if I go into here, hit snare, I have it soloed, I'll play it, and unfortunately, you won't hear it layered. They're wondering, like, okay, why didn't I hear anything? What's wrong? And the reason is it's not being triggered by anything. So if I had MIDI going out from Drummer into here, it would play. But since we don't have that, and you may not have that if you have live drums or something else, we're going to use audio to trigger it instead. And we can do that by using Mod 1. So all we're going to do is go here to Mod 1, hit Learn, hit Trigger, turn it off. Okay. Now we go into here and we see this, and it looks like an LFO. So I can turn this up, and when I turn it on, just listen to what happens. That's definitely not what we want. We don't want it to be triggered by this LFO. So what we do want it to be triggered by is audio. So let's go into the follower. So we have lots of parameters here, like the attack, how fast it will detect it. I want to make this kind of fast. 10 milliseconds is actually okay, but I like it a little bit faster. And here the level minimum, so we're going to use that and control that. Let's say if there was lots of noise and there's a high noise floor, I might have to move this up, but for this I think negative 50 decibels is fine. And the level max, we're going to move that down until we can start to hear the sound come in. So let's play it and then just move the level max down a bit. Let's actually make sure we turn it on first. That's very important. Okay, so now let's move the level max down. Okay, so we got it. We moved it down a little bit. Sometimes if it's all the way at the top, it won't trigger, so there we go. So you might have to do that. That's one thing to remember. Also, another thing we can do here is the delay. So now it's hitting at the exact same time, but if we delay this a bit, we can get a little bit of, a lag with it. So like this. And of course you can double click this and set this to musical values if you want, but oftentimes I like to set this just a little bit off so the transient of the snare drum is before the glass breaking, like this. But you can set that however you like. So now that we have that set up, one thing I might want to do is I want to be able to blend this so I can easily control the volume of each. Now all we're going to do is just right click here, or you can left click if you want, hit ratio. Now we're going to right click on ratio, and I'm going to set sidechain to 2, which is going to make the input here, but we still have this going out output 2, which I don't want, so I'm going to click steal the sidechain. Okay, now we can control it from here. So that's what I wanted, and to be honest, I think we could stop there. And it's like, okay, this is what I want, but let's take it a little bit farther and do something more creative. We are in MXXX, right? So let's go into here and let's see, what else could we do? Let's try turbo delay. Now from here, I'm going to go into the digital delay, and let's try something else like quarter notes, set a ping pong, moving back and forth. Put some reverb on there too. Let's hear how this sounds. I'm liking that. So let's hear it all together. Now I like that, but let's try to do a little bit more. So let's turn the ping pong off. Just have it normal here. And think, what else could I do with this? Let's add a flanger. Hear how this sounds. That's cool. I like that. But let's say I want to do something else a little bit different. So this one now, it's hitting on every single time that the snare drum is playing. What if I wanted to do it like every fourth time? So for the first bar, I don't want it to play at all. And for the second bar, I only want to play it on the second snare drum. Let's see if we can do that. Let's go into mod 3 here. And let's first click and learn. I'm going to click on mod 1. You're probably thinking, okay, what does that do? And if we turn it on, you'll see it's turning off and on mod 1. But we actually don't want it to be controlled by an LFO like this. I want to sync. That's a little bit better. I want to set this for 2 bars. The phase is now at 90 degrees. I want it at 0 so it starts in the right place. And instead of using this sine wave, let's use a step sequencer. This is a bit too fast. So this would be every beat for 2 measures. And I'm going to set this for 4. So this would be every half note, or every 2 beats, I should say. Now, like I said, the first beat, I don't want it to play. Second beat, I don't want it to play. Third beat, I don't want it to play. But this last 2 beats of the 2-bar loop, I do want it to play like this. And just to make sure it's all synced up and I'm not it doesn't play over here early, I'll just move this over a little bit. So if you're wondering, oh, you can move this and move it back and forth just with your mouse. So I'm just going to slide this over just a little bit. And now let's play it and hear how it sounds. So it's good, but actually I think I made a small mistake because it shouldn't be playing every other note. It should be playing a little bit less. Actually, no, I think maybe that's right. Let's hear it all in context just to make sure. I think I might have made a mistake with my math. Yeah, so it's playing every other one, so I could change that by just making this length 4, like this. Now let's try it one more time. So there you go. Assuming you are better at math than I am, you won't have those types of problems. But in here you see there's all sorts of things you can do. I just used a reverb, a delay, and a flanger, but there's other things you can do with this. There's all sorts of effects and things you can play with to change the sound of it over time. You can bit crush it, distort it, use the phaser, and not only can you turn this mod 1 on and off, you could turn any of the effects on and off. So you could have the delay on the first hit of the snare drum, I could have a phaser on the second hit, and I could have some crazy granular effect on the third if I wanted to. So it's kind of like the world's your oyster. Do whatever you want, whatever you feel is interesting. If you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Until next time, see you.